Righteous. It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World on the YouTube. Dame Hamilton on the IG. Feeling good, feeling vibrant. And I feel it's a apt time to give y'all another Real Talks. Episode 37. We've been taking a break from some of my segments, but rest assured we always get back to all of them. Even the eye test is taking a hit. I ain't did the eye test in a minute with my lack of approval for the current dogma in which the NBA has presented itself, with the lack of defense, the lack of effort, the lack of willpower in which I'm seeing, kind of deterred me from the eye test. But rest assured, I'll get back to you with some jiggy eye tests. But today is the Real Talks episode 37. Leaders and followers. Now I'm piggybacking off of something I've seen with 19 Keys, I believe Black Magic the Interviewer, Loaded Lux, Kambada, and I believe a fellow by the name of Black Dot. All high vibrational conscious beings doing a discussion about a lot of topics, and then they touched on leadership, and then it led my mind to tackle leadership and following with respect to both of them. And I wanted to start by saying, I always say this when it comes to terms and definitions: remove the connotation out of the word and you get more out of the word, especially the charge. If you have a positive or negative connotation to leader or follower, then you reduce the essential meaning of the word. I say that to say we might look at leadership as if it's always a good thing, when there can be bad leaders. We might look at following like it's always a bad thing, when there can be righteous and good followers. So remove the connotation, the positive or negative connotation, and just the connotation in general, because what you denote is the literal term. The connotations are what you imply, what you take from the term, which is actually not the essential term for whatever it is you're referencing. So you just get a clearer, more clairvoyant perspective of the word in itself when you remove the connotations and you remove the charges. I say that to say, in the realm of leadership and following, let's start with leadership. Leadership is not always good. Some people might have malicious intent, but can rally the troops, can rally a group of people, can govern a group of people to doing decisions or making decisions that are not beneficial for them or not beneficial for the collective. So leadership is not always a good thing, even though we hear, oh, you're a leader, and we hold that as a positive connotation. You have people who are not leading in a moral, efficient, and effective way. So you have to understand that, because we look at following in contrast. I believe Loaded Lux said in the interview, like, oh, you a follower, referencing the society and how we take to followers. We clown followers. But when you look at organizations, when you look at systems in play, you see very few leaders and you see many, many, many followers. So when you just look at the positions in their natural form, logically there will be more followers than leaders. For example, you just talk about an organization like the Lakers or something. You might have the owner, which is the leader, and then in that tier of ownership and staffing, past coaching and players, you have a congregate of people helping Jerry Buss come to a decision. But ultimately, yes, Jerry Buss is the head of the snake, but the snake got a whole body. Jerry Buss, well, is no longer the Lakers, but I'm referencing the times where it was good to be a Laker fan, you feel me? So you got Jerry Buss, the head of the snake, but then you have a multitude of people following him in the chain of command that have vital, essential roles and functions in the organization for him to make the ultimate decision, for him to pull the trigger. So each role is essential. Imagine having 10 leaders, or however many it takes for a system, 25 leaders in your organization and 0 followers. So you see, logically, you need some followers for the leaders, and mathematically, because the universe and God is so principled with this math shit, it doesn't make sense to have only leaders and no followers from the leaders. That, to me, in my head, it entails a bunch of people trying to make the head decision, but nobody trying to do the groundwork, the legwork. You feel me? You want to design the architecture, but you don't want to get your hands dirty to create the structure that entails the architecture. So with leadership comes following. There has never been a leader who didn't need followers, and there has never been followers who didn't need leaders. They are both essential properties. So even like taking the Lakers, for example, you got Bus, and then you got all the people delegating, congregating in his ear. Then you go down a tier, you might have Phil Jackson, but then you got the assistant coaching staff. You feel me? There's more people on the assistant coaching staff than the head coach, the leader. They are integral. They are important. I believe the person who made the triangle, I forget his name, it slips my mind. He was not Phil Jackson. He was the assistant coach. You feel me? I forget his name. You know what I'm saying? It'll come back to me. But the person who made the triangle was a follower of Phil Jackson, technically, in that sense. But to be a follower is to be a leader of your own position. So people have to understand. And then you can trickle down to Kobe and Shaq. Shaq might be the leader. Kobe might be the 1B leader. And then you got Derek Fisher. You got Robert Horry. You got players who played key roles. Roles, and I want to say roles to emphasize, because leadership is a role. Following is a role. When they say role players, a leader has a role too. The follower has a role. Derek Fisher played his role so well. So well, so refined, that if he hadn't, then it would have sullied the ability for Kobe or for Shaq to lead, because they didn't have apt followers, people who knew their position. You got to know your role. And in many cases, that might not entail leadership. So that's not just something we have to adhere to. Okay, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. Well, no, you want to fit into a role that's essential for you and the collective at the time. Somebody, you might be a leader. Let's say you're a natural born leader, you know what I'm saying? And you're used to leading. But then you get thrown into a field like architecture or creative design or music, in which you're not really privy to. But your friend, your homie who been following you, you feel me, through your life and through your journey, he's a master, he's a maestro at it. Oh, okay, yeah, well, normally but let me take the wheel in this position. So in this position, he's leading, and now you are following the instructions of the former follower, which is the now leader, and now you're the follower, which is okay. There is nothing wrong with following. My perfect emblem is Derek Fisher. My perfect emblem is Robert Horry. My perfect emblem is Mario Chalmers. You know what I'm saying? The role players who are a necessity for the leaders to get shit done as a system and as an organization. You feel me? And then I want to add to that by referencing the universe. The universe and its godliness, because God is everything. I always say that. God is not just the good things that happen. God is not the bad thing. God is everything. Everything holding the energy in this electromagnetic spectrum entails a part of the whole, which is God. So when you look at how systems are ran and how the world is ran, you see naturally there will have to be logically more followers than leaders. If you just look at people at their essence, most people gravitate towards something in which they can follow. whether that's man or whether that's something beyond man, an energy force, most people, the masses, I want to say 80 to 90% of people would rather follow an idea than create an idea for themselves and then leave for other people to follow. So you got a small window of, in my opinion, natural born leaders. And to me, I think that's natural. I think that's God's work. If God created 7 billion leaders and no followers, I don't think a lot of work would get done. Or if he created off or 90%, or if he created few followers and a lot of leaders, it would be disproportionate to the nature of how a system can function. So you have to look at God's work, the universe. And you know what I'm saying? Even look at your body. You know what I'm saying? You got the cognition, the head of the snake. But this is just one part and parcel of the whole of you. You got arms, you got shoulders, you got legs, you got vital organs, you got feet, you got knees. So the lead position is only a modicum of the whole functionality. Everything else is following the lead of the cognitive function. So everything else is a role player, quote unquote. They're all roles, but you get the message. There's only a small bit of leadership in a system, and there's a wide range of following in a system. I think that's key to note. I think that's important for people to understand, because you might be following something and you might get ridiculed for being a follower, in which it's not the case. The only thing I would suggest, and I'm piggybacking off again the interview in which I seen, go check it out. I think the interviewer name is Black Magic. I've just gotten privy to him. Genius. All these people are on different spectrums. Loaded Lux, Kambada, 19 Keys. Oh my goodness, that's somebody's who ideology in which I follow consistently. I'll say this about following though. Don't get it twisted. When you are following an essence. You are following something that you can see sparks that drive within you for you to be a better person yourself, and the energy within a subject is sparking that drive in you to assist the collective. So it's a vehicle to raise your consciousness and to help the collective consciousness. So like someone like 19 Keys, to me, he has the spirit, he has the soul, he has the vibration of that godlike quality. So that's what I follow. Now, because he happens to be in the vehicle of 19 Keys and exercising that godlike quality as who he is, then as a consequence, the essence in that vehicle is what I follow. I say that to say you can't be led astray by following man or woman, because man and woman are godlike. They're not God. They are flawed. They are fallible. They make mistakes. People might get confused with following man, and then once they fuck up or make a mistake, they feel led astray. But no, it's never the man. It's always the essence behind the man, when the essence is pure and the essence is God-like. Like Ye, for example. A lot of people sully Ye. Oh man, like, yeah, he's not a leader. Well, he is a leader. If you denote the actual meaning of leadership, it's just someone who has a group of followers. Denote, not connotations. People say he's not a leader because you don't like his style, you don't like his character, you don't like the mistakes in which he's made. Again, the man-made connotations in which we attribute to Ye and his leadership position, but that person amasses more of a following than most of the people who you guys give credence to being leaders. So, regardless if you like it or not, when he speaks, millions and millions of people listen. So, naturally, we have to delegate him as a leader. All it takes for a leader is to have followers. And all it takes for followers is to have something to adhere to. So, when you look at Ye and we try to take the man part of him and sully his leadership. But look at the essence. Look at the essential things coming out of his mouth? Is what he's saying godly when he talks about abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood and killing our children? Is what he's saying godly when he's talking about building an ecosystem in the community to help the environment? Is him being pro-life death affirming, or is it God-like? Obviously, God is equivalent to morality, equivalent to life for the most part. Again, God is everything. God is the devil. God is the worst part too. But when you look at life in its entirety, you see it continual. Materially, most everybody wants to live and strive. The plants, the animals, the humans, we all affirm to that life gesture, which makes us innately moral because we are God-like. The God, not the God-like, the God, the energy within everything is eternal. So it ain't got no choice but to live. It ain't got no choice but to live. Whether or not you leave, that God is still going to be here. So that's all it means to be moral, to be tapped into that God-like quality, which affirms life for you and others. You treat others well. You eat healthy. You might work out. You might have a basic level of respect, no matter what the position. Somebody could be homeless, but you respect that because that is a life form, and you are life affirming, and you are moral, and you are godly. So when you see Ye and how he's acting, remove his human fallible nature, because that's not what you're following. You're following the essential God-like quality in which he pervades every so now and again. You feel me? And I say that to segue a little bit. Following, again, it's not something you do to man. You don't follow man. Y'all don't follow me. You feel me? I can fuck up. I can make mistakes. But when I am acting godly and godlike, that is something you take to and adhere to because that is a part of you. You feel me? That godlike quality that people exude is inside of all of us. It's an intrinsic capacity. It's the reason why we have spirit and are able to move and walk and function the way we can. So that's the ultimate leader. That's the ultimate leader. So when we talk about leaders and followers, this material realm, these humans who hold leadership positions and have a lot of people adhering and following to them, they ain't doing nothing but following their innate core, which is God. All the leaders in which I've seen, they're following right now. And they got tutelage. They've gotten discipline. 19 Keys said a great point. He said, to be a disciple is to take tutelage from someone who knows more than you. So, and then throughout that process of disciple, you develop discipline. The only way you can develop discipline is to be a disciple. A disciple is a follower of things. So leaders, before we've seen them thrust into that leadership position, they've been great followers of something. He always references the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and all the great leaders in which I've seen have had something. Malcolm might have pulled Garvey. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people may have had fathers and mothers who led them and disciplined them in a direction to where they can become an apt leader. But all of them, nonetheless, are following that spirit. Because to even have good discipline is to have principles in which the universe is put before us. And ain't no man put before these principles. It's God's work again. The principles in the universe to eat healthy, to work out, to show love and respect, to even acknowledge love as a capacity of healing. That's a God-like quality. So the leaders in which we see, they're adhering to a higher level of consciousness. That's the leader. We all followers in this shit. So I don't want people to get it twisted. You feel me? If you're in a position where you're following somebody, again, follow the essence. But if you're in a position where you're following the essence in the form of a man, you have to remind yourself that this is deeper than ego. This is deeper than, oh, I'm following this, or, oh, he's a leader, why can't I be the leader? No, this is how a system operates. A system operates with a head and a body. Every system, head and a body. And the head is what we delegate leadership to. Okay, you might be in charge of making decisions. You feel me? You might stamp the choices in which we make after the body congregates. You notice you call it the Senate and the House. That's the body of government. The president is just the head. Even though, you feel me, side note, he ain't the head. in this corruption in this corporation. But ideally, the president would be the head, and then the chain of command would be the body, which congregates and helps make the decisions for the head to just be like, you know what, yep, that's the right move. And we moving forward with that. So it's just something to be mindful of, you know what I'm saying, when we talking about leaders and followers. Like Ye said, you feel me? Took a jab at the followers, leaders and his followers. But I'd rather be than a swallower. You know what I'm saying? If you're a follower, you ain't a swallower. You know what I'm saying? If you're a follower, but again, you could be though. Because like I said, there's good leadership and there's good. For all it is to me, all it is to have good leadership is to operate with that integrity within you, which is that God-like quality. And then the best leaders are following that God-like quality. So all a good leader is doing is just following the God, which entails principles and a way of living that's based for life affirming and based for collectivism rather than individualism. Because there are some leaders who just think for self, you know what I'm saying, might have a master following only to swindle them. You've seen pyramid schemes and things of that nature from leaders. They had a lot of followers, but they dirty macked them. They didn't care about their well-being. So all it takes to be a good leader is to tap into that intrinsic moral compass. And the same goes for the followers. Tap into that intrinsic moral compass, because you could be a bad follower. And a bad follower might be a swallower. No matter what this person does, you feel me? Let's use Ye for example. If Ye becomes or does something unscrupulous on the surface, because you're not a good follower, you're not following that essence, that moral principle in which probably got you to believe in Ye, and you're following the man, the fallible version Ye, then when he makes a mistake, you don't care because you're blinded. Your level of discernment is not there. You so stuck into following the man that he can make no mistakes, which is already a mistake, and thinking a man can make no mistakes, which is bad following. I'm sure Derek Fisher at some point was like, Kobe, my nigga, give up the rock. Just because you a follower don't mean, just because you a follower of that essence holding that vehicle doesn't mean you can't check the vehicle. Go check the vehicle, see if it's still running right. See if it's still applying that force that leads promptly and aptly. You feel me? So it's levels, you know what I'm saying? There's good followers, there's good leaders, there's bad followers, there's bad leaders, and every system has a large body of followers with a small body of leaders, but the best system has leaders and followers following that God-like moral compass and quality already instilled into them. They all following. You feel me? I bet God probably following something. Something we can't even fucking fathom. You feel me? And with that being said, you know what I'm saying, 23, 24 minutes. I don't want to talk y'all ear off, especially in this microwave era, man. Motherfuckers ain't long-winded no more, especially at the attention span. You got that limbic resonance going out there with these social media, so you get shit every 10, 15 seconds. You might get tired after 2 minutes hearing a nigga. Feel me? Which I understand. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I respect as much, but I understand it. But I'm not going to be too long-winded. Just something for you to note, leaders and followers. There's nothing wrong with being a follower. Tap into your essence, and then you'll know who, or more so what, to follow. And that might come in the form of who. That might come in the form of a book. That might come in the form of a teacher. That might come in the form of one of your parents. You might not adhere to the other one because they ain't following shit righteously. And then as a leader, you do the same. You know what I'm saying? Follow that core principle instilled within you, which is godly. And then you can be a just leader and have a mass of followers, and you're leading them in the right direction. You feel me? With that being said, it's your boy Dame. Last plug, you know I always got to plug me. Because if I don't plug me, who gonna do it? If I don't look out for me, who's gonna look out for me? The Beauty of Being Wrong, man. In stores now. Go get it. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I have more copies coming on the way, so I can send them to you directly. In about 24 hours, my shipment should be here. So go get that. You feel me? Again, follow the YouTube. Hit the likes. Hit the shares. Super badges. Do whatever it is you can to support, man. You know what I'm saying? Because again, subscribers, followers, however you want to look at it, leaders. I'm a messenger. That's how I really, you feel me, denote I'm just giving a message. And when I tap into that godlike quality, I'm giving a message with purity, and people can feel that because they have that same purity within them. But as a messenger, you know what I'm saying? When you see somebody giving you an apt and righteous message, as a person following and adhering to that message, do what you can to continue that messenger's path so they can perpetuate more messages for you and the wide field of people who are in need of a message. So whether that means a super badge, whether that means a share, whether that even means, hey Damon, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Gratitude is, you know what I'm saying? Gratitude is the attitude, baby. Sometimes all it takes, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. Good work. So I'll do my part. Y'all do your part. You feel me? Sometimes I'll lead. Sometimes I'll follow. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's under that righteous umbrella. With that being said, it's your boy Dave. Much love. Highest the vibes. You feel me? Go out there and lead righteously. Go out there and follow righteously. Much love.